Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. In today's video is part 5 of What If Naruto Could Copy Kekkei Genkai. We left off with Jiraiya and Naruto setting off to find the 5th Hokage. As they would make their way to a nearby town, Naruto would train all the various techniques he has learned, also focusing on how to manipulate sand like Gaara did, and also break down the ground around him to make sand. Jiraiya would be very impressed with all of Naruto's techniques and would think to himself that maybe Naruto is the child of prophecy. Naruto would then realize that he hasn't told Kakashi that he was going to leave the village, so Naruto makes a shadow clone and sends it back to the village. Naruto would walk around town with Jiraiya, and Jiraiya would decide to book a hotel room. Meanwhile, Naruto's clone is in the leaf and is looking for Kakashi. Naruto would be searching around the village when he would find Kakashi. However, alongside him he would see 2 more Jonin, as well as 2 people in front of them wearing cloaks. He would look at the river, and Kakashi is staring at Itachi and Kisame. Itachi is about to see this, and as Naruto has the power of the Sharingan, Naruto is able to tell. However, Naruto would begin feeling pain in his eyes, as the Sharingan of a true Uchiha is much stronger. Naruto would then manage to stay up, and Naruto would then create 1,000 water needles around Itachi and Kisame. Naruto would then send it flying at them both, and Kakashi would see this and would look behind him and would see Naruto. Naruto would then see Kisame staring directly at him, and Naruto would immediately cast a genjutsu on him. Itachi would notice this almost immediately and would release Kisame from the genjutsu. Itachi would then cast the Tsukiyomi on Kakashi, which would cause him to fall to the ground. Naruto would also fall to the ground, as Tsukiyomi was a technique that was extremely difficult for him to handle, and Naruto would struggle to get up, as Guy would jump in and would save them all. Guy and Asuma would get into a stance, ready to combat them, when Itachi told them that they only came here for Naruto and not for a full-scale battle. Kakashi would then tell Naruto to get out of here, and Naruto would ask Guy if he could handle them, and Guy would nod. Naruto would then say to Kakashi that he is going away from the village for a bit, and Naruto's clone would disappear. Itachi would then say that he will be on his way, and that he was going, and then Itachi and Kisame would use body flicker. After this, Kakashi would be in the hospital, and later Sasuke would find out, and Sasuke would also find out about Itachi was after Naruto. Sasuke would then begin making his way to the nearby town. Meanwhile, Naruto is in his room, and Jiraiya went out. Naruto was practicing all of the jutsu and kekkei genkai he had learnt, and he would receive the knowledge and abilities from one of his clones, this being the one that fought Itachi. Naruto, however, didn't know where Jiraiya was, so Naruto prepared for the situation that awaited him. Meanwhile, Itachi and Kisame were in the village, looking for Naruto. Itachi then said to Kisame that they need to be careful, and Kisame would laugh and would ask why, and Itachi would then say that Naruto's clone had cut him. Kisame would then look at his arm and realize that he did get injured by Naruto, and Kisame would realize that it was Naruto when he used all those water needles. Naruto at this moment in time is planning all of his possible moves, and Naruto would be thinking to himself about his options when he would hear a knock on the door. As Naruto has both Byakugan and Sharingan abilities, he would know it as Itachi and Kisame, and Naruto would stare at Itachi through the door. As Naruto would get up and walk over to the door. Naruto would then activate a Chidori and would pierce through the door, and Itachi would dodge. However, Kisame would get cut once again, not being able to move quick enough. Naruto would then kick down the door and would use Ice Style to create 1,000 needles of ice. Naruto had gotten this idea from freezing the 1,000 water needles, and then this would give them more piercing ability. Naruto would then send them flying at Itachi and Kisame, and they would then manage to block these. Kisame would then rush at Naruto enraged. However, Naruto knew that Kisame would act like this, as Naruto would use Ice Style once again to freeze over the entire hallway, and would trap Kisame and Itachi's feet in the ice. Naruto knew that this wasn't going to last long, as Itachi had already used Fire Style to get out, and Kisame brute forced his way out of the ice. Naruto would say, "It seems like I'm in an unfavourable position." Itachi would then tell Naruto to just come with them quietly. However, Naruto would say that their opportunity has gone, as his backup has arrived. Jiraiya would then bust through the roof and would tell Naruto that he did a good job holding them off. But Naruto would see Sasuke's chakra signature below, and he would then come up to the top floor and would activate Chidori. Sasuke would then rush at Itachi. However, Itachi would grab Sasuke's arm and would then grab his neck and hold him up against the wall, telling him that he was too weak. Jiraiya would then use the Toad Belly Jutsu, and Itachi and Kisame would then try to escape. Jiraiya and Naruto would chase after them, and Itachi had used some Black Flame, which would cause Naruto to fall to the ground once again, as he has now absorbed the Amaterasu, yet another Mangekyo ability, into his eyes. Naruto, however, would recover quickly, as the Nine Tails chakra sped up the process. Sasuke, after waking up, would be furious, as he would storm off back to the village. Jiraiya would then tell Naruto to leave Sasuke alone for the time being, and that they have an important mission to complete. Naruto would then say that he is right, and they would continue to search for the next Hokage. Naruto would be thinking about the Hokage, and Naruto would think to himself that being the Hokage is a very good thing, and it means that you are strong and you are respected by all. However, Naruto had realized that he may not be able to train if he became Hokage, and Naruto didn't want something like that, so he wanted to be Hokage when he was quite a bit older. Naruto would then get told that they were going into a bar in another town. When they made it to the next town, Jiraiya would say, "She is here," and Naruto would then quiet down, as he respected the last Hokage a lot, so the new one must receive his utmost respect. Naruto and Jiraiya would then sit down next to Tsunade, and Jiraiya would begin talking to Tsunade. Naruto would hear Jiraiya finally talk about Tsunade becoming the next Hokage. Tsunade would then begin making fun of the previous Hokage, and she would be making fun of the third Hokage as well. Naruto would be drinking water as he would hear this. Naruto would then put his glass down loud enough so that everyone at the table could hear, and Naruto would form a one-handed hand sign under the table, as he would create a few water needles to point at Tsunade's neck. Naruto would then use Ice Style to make them stronger, and Naruto would realize that this jutsu is one of the most useful techniques he has, at least for the time being. Tsunade would then swipe her hand, destroying all the needles, and Naruto would then tell Tsunade to not make fun of the Hokage. Tsunade would then tell Naruto to go outside and they would then go outside. However, Naruto would then say that they need to do it somewhere more open than this. Tsunade would smirk as they would all go to a nearby field, and Tsunade would say that she will become Hokage if Naruto can land one hit on her. Naruto would agree with this, and the fight would begin. Naruto would begin breaking down the minerals around him and turning them into sand, and Naruto would then begin using this sand to keep Tsunade occupied, whilst he continued to break down more and more, creating a small desert around him. Naruto would then begin to use this sand to trap Tsunade. However, once Naruto had trapped Tsunade, Tsunade would bust straight out. Naruto had expected this, so Naruto would then use a fireball jutsu, but Tsunade would dodge out of the way once again, and she would blitz behind Naruto and try to punch him. Naruto would then burst into smoke, and Tsunade would search around for Naruto. I would spot Naruto creating a giant Rasengan. Tsunade would manage to dodge, however Naruto had already created 1,000 ice needles and sent them flying at her. One managed to cut her, so she would punch the ground and it would shatter, and Naruto would jump into the air and would use his sand to keep him floating. Naruto would then copy Tsunade. I would concentrate his chakra into his fist and enhance his strength. Naruto would then punch the ground as it would shatter even more, and Tsunade would be amazed as they would both rush at each other. Naruto wasn't as fast as Tsunade, but he had a technique that she may underestimate. Naruto would then create a Chidori and would rush at Tsunade, but before they could reach each other, Jiraiya stopped the fight, and Jiraiya would say to Tsunade that Naruto hit her, so he wins. Tsunade would then say fine, but she would ask Naruto why he was so protective of the title, and Naruto would say that he wants to be the Hokage when he's older. Tsunade would then say that she has something to do before they leave, and she would tell Naruto that he was more deserving of this necklace, and she would give Naruto the necklace of the first Hokage. Naruto would thank Tsunade, and they would part ways for now. And this is the end of part 5 of What If Naruto Could Copy Kekkei Genkai. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.